إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Just wanted to correct something I said in the last hadith. I mentioned the hadith about Abu Darda. And it was Abu Darda asking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was about lying, and I said, Abu Darda said, "Does a mu'min steal?" And the Prophet said, "Yes, he could." And then he said, "Does a mu'min commit adultery?" And then the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam said, "Yes, he could, even if Abu Darda hates it." And then I said, or the hadith is, "هل يكذب المؤمن?" Does a mu'min lie? And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam قال إنما يفتري الكذب من لا يؤمن. Only a person who would lie is a person who doesn't believe. وهذا الحديث ضعيف. I mentioned it, but I didn't. I retracted and researched, and the hadith is ضعيف. But I read it, subhanallah, in the explanation of Sheikh Saleh al-Sheikh, and I didn't really research much about it, so I apologize for that. So cancel that one out. Yeah, it's hadith ضعيف. طيب نبدأ إن شاء الله الحديث number 36 من الأربعين نووية. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من نفس عن مؤمن كربة من كرب الدنيا نفس الله عنه كربة من كرب يوم القيامة ومن يسر على معسر يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة ومن ستر مسلما ستره الله في الدنيا والآخرة والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه ومن سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله به طريقا إلى الجنة وما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله أو يتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده ومن أبطأ به عمله لم يسرع به نسبه رواه مسلم وهذا اللفظ لمسلم. Subhanallah, one of the fundamentals and the core of Islam is we are believers and we are brothers in belief. And we notice that a lot of matters in Islam is with regards to the rights of others. Yeah, even one of the pillars of Islam, as we know, is zakah, which is you have to help the needy and the poor, and this is a pillar of Islam, a main aspect of Islam. And is it only these pillars are the most important ones? The answer is no. There are many things that are not in the pillars of Islam, but they are fundamental and core. Yeah, like for example, birr al-walidain. It is a core fundamental in Islam that you are dutiful and respectful and obedient to your father and mother. And also مثلا the stance of the Sahaba. This is also a core fundamental in Islam, but it is not mentioned in the 5 pillars of Islam. Yeah, perhaps we can understand the 5 pillars of Islam. These are the actions that every Muslim should do. Yeah, but others also, they are also involved and are essential and critical for you to understand and to also act upon. In this hadith, on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whoever removes a worldly grief, kurbatan min kurabi dunya, a worldly grief, a hardship, kurba hardship, from a believer, anybody who removes a worldly hardship or a grief from a believer, Allah will remove from him one of the griefs and the hardships of the day of resurrection, Yawm al-Qiyamah. And whoever alleviates the need of a needy, makes it easy for him, anybody who is needful, you make it easy for him, of a needy person, Allah will make it easy for him in this world and in the hereafter. ومن يسر عن معسر على معسر يسر الله له يسر from from ease. يسر الله له عليه أو يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever shields or hides the misdeeds or a deficiency or a wrongdoing of a Muslim, or a hardship also of a Muslim, Allah will shield him and protect him in this world and in the hereafter. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and Allah will aid his slave as long as he aids his brother. And whoever follows a path to seek knowledge in Islam, therein Allah will make it easy for him, a path to paradise, Jannah. And no people gather together in the house of Allah, meaning a masjid, reciting the book of Allah and studying it or studying it among themselves, except that sakina, tranquility, is descended upon them, and mercy envelops them, and the angels surround them, and Allah mentions them amongst those who are with him and with the angels. And whoever is slowed down by action, he will not be hastened forward by his lineage, by his nasab. Rawahu Muslim. First of all, let's talk about al-kurba, hardship. Here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam man qala man nafasa an mu'minin kurbatan min kurab ad-dunya. Al-kurba, hardships, can be in life and also can mean in things in religion. Can mean things in religion, whether it is physical, whether it is psychological, whether it is money, financial, whether it is religious. Also, can be a kurba. Any kind of hardship that you ease on a Muslim, this is good deed, and this is involved in the hadith. First of all, about religious matters. For example, one man, he divorced his wife, or he had a problem with her and he said something, he doesn't know this action is a divorce, talaq or not talaq, and now he is confused. He doesn't know, she's my wife, she's not my wife, I don't know. طيب, this is a kurba. Is she haram on me or is she not haram on me? I said talaq maybe 3 times, or maybe it was in a state of something that is, he's confused about. The person, the sheikh or the mufti who gives him and clarifies this for him, he have elevated and removed this kurba for him. And this is also involved in the hadith, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. Yeah, he removed a hardship from him. طيب, a matter, maybe for example, one man, he wants to know a hukum, a ruling of something in Islam. This is halal or this is haram, and there is kurba on him. Maybe he wants to buy a car and he doesn't know. I don't want to get into riba, I don't want to do this, I don't know what to do. So what is the fatwa? He seeks a fatwa from, of course, a legitimate alim or a mufti, and he gives them the answer and he clarifies this for him. Alhamdulillah, he removed my hardship on me. Now I can do it in a halal way. This is also involved in the kurba. And so teaching people about Islam, and even you spreading information about Islam and the clarity of Islam, or things that are ambiguous, doubts, this is also removing a kurba. As a matter of fact, one of the kurbas that are very dangerous in Islam is doubts, shubuhat. If a man has shubha in his heart, this shubha can make him also leave the fold of Islam. صح? Many people who actually I would say most, if not all, people who say, I left Islam, I'm not Muslim anymore. He has a shubha. He has a kurba. He has a hardship he didn't fix. You have to fix it yourself. You have to seek the answers for it. For this is a kurba that can lead him to the hellfire. And anybody who helps people with that, you are in this hadith and maybe even the greatest rank of removing a kurba from the people. So sharing things about Islam and clarifying things about Islam, this is you are in this hadith. You will remove a kurba for a hardship from Muslims. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And also, like we all know, al-kurba also hardships in finance and hardships psychologically. Sometimes just listening to someone can remove a kurba from your brother. Yeah? And don't forget, not only your friends or your brothers in Islam, but also your mother and father and brother and sister. These are the closest to you. Yeah? And they are the most, I would say, they have haqq on you. Their rights are more on other brothers because they're closer to you, mothers and fathers. So listening to them, helping them, removing any kind of hardship in their life is involved in this hadith. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. طيب, here, and this is wallahi from the bounty of Allah, and Allah is all bountiful. The Prophet said, if you remove one kurba, hardship, one, from a believer, Allah will remove نفس الله عنه كربة من كرب يوم القيامة. And you reap what you sow. We say in Arabic, الجزاء من جنس العمل. You do good in a way, Allah will give you the same thing you're doing, He'll give it to you. Better even. What's more hard? Hardships in this life or hardships in the akhirah? In the akhirah, طبعا. You help someone today for the sake of Allah, you help him in religion, psychologically, financially, whatever. Allah will remove a hardship on you in the day of judgment. In the day of judgment, where everybody will need to have any kind of hardship removed from him in any kind of way. Yeah. وثم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ومن يسر على معسر يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة. Notice here, the first one he said, من نفس عن مؤمن. First he said believer, صح? And then notice the Prophet said, he didn't say من يسر على معسر أو مؤمن. معسر, general. We understand, subhanAllah, Shaykh Sulaiman al-Rahili said that this involves the Muslim and the non-Muslim. That you help the needy even if he is a Muslim or a non-Muslim. And this is from the mercy and the tolerance of Islam, that even the non-Muslims deserve help from us. For the sake of Allah, inshallah, they see the beauty of Islam. Yeah? And this is something, a goal that we must consider. That I want to present Islam to everybody in the best way possible to them so they accept Islam. Because a non-Muslim, you will help him in worldly hardships. But I also want to help him in the akhirah hardship, the ultimate hardship, which is, hellfire. So that is also should be considered and should be a niyyah for you. طيب. Here, he said, من يسر, made it easy on who? معسر. معسر. What is a معسر? Allah Azza wa Jal في سورة البقرة آية number 280 قال وإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة. وإن كان ذو عسرة, if a person has a hardship, عسرة, فنظرة, delay him until it is not hard for him. طيب, who is a معسر? المعسر, some of the ulama said, anybody who his income, الدخل, his income ما كان الداخل إليه أقل من المطلوب منه. ما كان الداخل إليه أقل من المطلوب منه. if his income is less than what is needed to be paid, less than his expenses. I have money but my expenses is more, I cannot afford that. هذا يسموه معسر. معسر. Yeah. And Shaykh Sulaiman al-Rahili gave he narrated from the Malikiyya, Madhab al-Maliki. He said this is the most accurate and the best interpretation of al-mu'sir. قال المعسر صنفان. المعسر, a person who is needy, two types. The first type is that he has no money or little money, and that type you must wait for him and give him time. Who am I talking about? You must wait for him and give him time. يعني if I loaned Arash here 1,000 dirhams. And no, let's flip it. Arash gave me 1,000 dirhams and I am a mu'sir. What means mu'sir? I don't have any money or I have little money, I cannot pay him. Yeah? So in Islam, if I say I'm mu'sir, I cannot pay you. Please. So he will say it's obligatory on him to wait for me. You have to give me time. هذا بالإسلام واجب. واجب عليك and you give me time. You say خلاص I'll delay it for you كما قال الله عز وجل وإن كان ذو عسرة, if he is on usra, he is needy, فنظرة إلى ميسرة. Wait for him until he can pay. طيب, that's type number 1. هذا معسر number 1. طيب, type number 2, he doesn't have the cash at hand, but he has assets. We call it liquidity, I think, in financial terms. يعني he doesn't have cash at no liquidity. But he has car, he has money, maybe he has a business, he has things, يعني assets. Yeah? فهذا, and he doesn't have money like I said, فهذا مستحب that you wait for him. مستحب that you wait for him. Recommended, not wajib you wait for him to pay off, but it is mustahab. It is mustahab. طيب, if a friend, you didn't loan him, you are a third person. A friend has a debt on him. A brother, a friend, a colleague, a family member, he has a debt on him. Let me close this. I forgot to close the comments because a lot of people fight here and they start causing drama, and we don't want that. Then they disturb everyone. One second, I forgot to do this. It was such a process. What do you do here? Where is it? Settings. There you go. No comments. Some people don't listen. They just come and they just fight. Like, listen, I'm talking. No respect. طيب. Now the views will go down because خلاص, they cannot talk now. They will leave. طيب. Where was I? Yeah. A friend has a debt and he's unable to pay. And it's not you are not the one that loaned him. You also can get involved. How? 3 things. First of all, or 2 things. We have 3 things. First of all, you can pay off that debt. If you can, طبعا. This is with maqdira, with ability. My friend is in debt. I have the money. I can pay it off. Not wajib, if you can. Mustahab. Yeah? I can pay off his debt. That is من نفس عن معسر, that you are left off the hardship of a needy person. You relieve a needy person. That comes inside of it. That is also included. طيب, if I can't pay off the whole debt, if you can, pay off half the debt. طيب, I cannot. I don't have much money and I'm in need. You can also intercede. شفاعة. يعني you go to the person who loaned him, tell him, يا أخي, please delay him. You don't have to, ask for the money now. Give him another year, etc. Yeah? طيب. Also, if you are a loaner, you're the person who loaned him. Like I said, you can wait for him, or you can give up your money. That is also possible and mustahab in Islam. You loan someone something and you said, this is a loan, I want it back. And then something happened, you said, well, dear brother, I don't have the money and I'm in a lot of problems and etc. and all that. If you have it in you, it's your right, It's not obligatory to give up your right, but if you can, say, I give it for the sake of Allah, I forgive you. No need. Yeah? But what's obligatory, what did I say? That you delay him. You give him, say, okay, I'll give you another 6 months or so until you are able, then I can ask for the money back. Yeah? طيب. If you delayed him, this is charity rewarded for you as charity, as sadaqah. This is rewarded for you as sadaqah. If you delayed the person, and you gave him some time and grace period to pay off his debt. هذا is counted as sadaqah. And you know, the person who was very well known to intercede, do shafa'ah for people who are in debt, Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah. He was known for that. People would come to him, Ya Sheikh, I have debt, or please talk to, and he was, and respected scholar. So he would go call the person, say, Ma'ak Sheikh bin Baz, please, there's this man who came to me and blah, 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 he's asking for so and so, please delay him. Yeah, and I will guarantee. And he puts his name, and I give you dhaman, that he will pay inshallah. He was known for that. وحتى يعني Sheikh Sulaiman Rahili says, one of the tujjar, one of the big entrepreneurs, businessmen there, he says, every time Bin Baz calls me and he tells me, please give grace, يعني delay the payment for this so and so person, subhanallah, barakah comes in my money. My money increases, my wealth increases. Barakah, subhanallah, min Allah Azza wa Jal. This is something that you have to understand. And it's part of Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. That Allah is the Lord and Allah is the one that provides and gives. Yeah, don't get too attached to the money. Oh, I'm gonna be poor. I don't know how I'm gonna live. I need my money. Take it easy. Allah will open doors for you. The more charity you give, the more money Allah will give you, and it will increase one way or the other. But you have to do it for the sake of Allah. Don't do it because you want to, for other reasons, maybe, I don't know, any kind of worldly reasons. La, do it for the sake of Allah, and Allah will put barakah in your life. طيب. And then here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال ونفس, he will make it easy for you. يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة. في الدنيا والآخرة. So Allah will make it easy for you in this dunya, and He will make it easy for you in the آخرة. طيب. And also, you have to know this. This is very important. طبعا we know there's a lot of needy people out there. No doubt about it. ولكن في الإسلام, it is not Islamic to ask people for money and ask people for help even. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في الحديث, anybody who opens a door of mas'ala, of asking people, Allah will make him more poor. زاده الله فقرا. Muslim lives in honor and doesn't ask people for things, but he asks Allah. This is very important. Unfortunately, I see many of the brothers, or some of the people, I'm talking generally طبعا, they come and it becomes a habit for them to ask, give me, help me, I don't have, give me. And no, not only that, it becomes a job for him. نصب احتيال conmen. And today they're very innovative and creative about these things. He will print a fake paper that he has a sickness or whatever, yeah, and then he will see, look, I'm this, I'm that, please help me. And when you give him, you realize he's a thief. Yeah? And I'll tell you the story that happened to me personally. Many stories happen. I'll tell you this one because this was funny. We were praying in the masjid one time, and this man walked in the masjid. And he walked, and I saw him. He walked and he went to the Imam, and he spoke to him. Then the Imam got up, and I saw him smiling. And they said, "Oh, brothers, this man wants to convert to Islam. So we will give him the Shahada now." So we're all very happy. We're very happy. Muslims are very happy when they see any person accepting Islam. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul. Takbir, takbir. Everybody's happy. They're hugging him, everything. And then we were, part of brotherhood. We're giving him our numbers. So if you need anything, brother, anything in Islam, the books, teaching, something, take our numbers. We'll help you. Okay, thank you very much. He left. We all left. Everything's okay, normal, adi. Second day, I get a phone call. Brother, you remember me? I'm the guy who was in the masjid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, how are you? Everything okay? Yes. Wallah, I'm here in Dubai, and I'm here study visa. I'm a student, and my mother sends me money all the time, and this month she didn't send me any money, and I'm gonna get expelled from university. Could you please help me? 1 week I will send you the money. Okay, inshallah. How much you want? He said the amount. So I gave him. I said, new Muslim. Now I was thinking to myself, new Muslim, and والمؤلفة قلوبهم, so let me give him some money, help him out, inshallah, he will be good. And then I gave him the money. 1 week passed. بصراحة I didn't ask. I said, he will pay, inshallah. I was too naive, maybe. Then another brother in the masjid called me. The two brothers, they called me. They're like, you remember that guy when he came and he did shahad? I'm like, yeah, I remember him. He said, did he ask you for something? Now my nafs is saying, no, don't say, because this is for the sake of Allah. If you tell him, no, I'm not going to tell him. But then something in my heart said, no, I think I need to tell him. Something is fishy here. So I said, yeah, he did ask for money. Did you give him? I said, yes. He said, yeah. He said he took from maybe 6-7 people now. He collected a lot of money. He collected all this money, and the other brothers were calling him a lot. Give me the money, blah, blah, blah. Like, where's my money? Where are you? And he's ignoring them. Subhanallah, I think I was busy, and I'm a lazy person, but I didn't call him aslan. Then they told me, okay, can you contact him? Because I'm not bothering him. He answers my call. So I said, yeah, I can contact him. He said, okay, contact him and tell him to come in so and so place, and we will trap him. We'll catch him. And we called the police, and we didn't do it ourselves because there is law here. We have to respect that. So we called the police. I remember it was in the metro of Barsha, So we called the police, and the police said, okay, once he comes, and by the way, I called him. I said, how are you, brother? Everything. He's like, yeah. Just look at the nerve. He said, I need more money. Can you help me? I said, of course, I'll help you. Come. He was coming to the metro station. So the policeman told me, when you see him, give us a sign. And people are waiting. It's like, an action movie. People are waiting with a newspaper and everything. He said, when you see him, give us a sign. What's the sign? He said, just do this. In your head, just tap your head like this. That means that's him. When he came, and he calls me uncle. I was as his age, but you know how it is. Uncle, and he wanted to hug me. So I did this. Police came from behind me. He hugged him. He caught him, and they took him to the police station. The guy was smart. He said, what's the problem? I asked you for money, you gave me. Where did I break the law? So the policeman is scratching his beard. Like, he's right. You gave him the money. What do you want me to do? And then he said, yeah, it's true. He said, okay, I'll pay you, no problem. Just let me go. I'll get you the money. And everyone's like, we know he's lying. But the policeman said, there's no case. You asked for money. You gave him money. He didn't steal it from you. Then, subhanallah, after some time, we called Tahriyat, CID. And so they were tracking him. They found out that this guy goes from masjid to masjid, doing shahada and collecting money. Business, everybody's like, nice. Don't get any ideas. Collecting money and leaving. Every time he goes to one masjid, I want to do shahada. Allahu Akbar, takbir, collects money, and then he leaves. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Qasd, why do I tell you the story? Because there's strict rules in the UAE about begging and asking for money. And I know the reason for this. This is one story. This happens to me every time. Every time my heart says, okay, let's husn al-dhann, let me وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ, and all that. And I give him money, this guy is cheating me. Every single time. Now, I'm not saying if you know someone personally, mu'sir, you know him. You can confirm 1000% he is mu'sir, help him. No problem. Without breaking the law, taban. Yeah? Not promoting and collecting money. This is, no. But do it in the proper way. Give him money, help him out, whatever. But any random person coming, don't give him money whatsoever. Yeah? And now they come in a new thing. I want to sell you something. I will sell you this, whatever he gives you, and then he starts talking to you, and then he wants money from you. Don't even entertain that. Sorry, may Allah give him dua, Allah yassir amrak, and leave. Because these are organized, they're like gangs. They're gangs, gang members, that they collect money. Not only that, hatta in charitable organizations, You know, there's charitable organizations in the UAE. They all have permits. These permits are registered and they are security checks and all that. You know why? Because there are terrorist organizations that work as if they're charitable organizations. And this is something from, you know, charity is a lot of money, big money. Why? Because people want khair. Anybody, you tell them help and all that, charity, they will give money for masjid, for a needy person. You see them, yeah? Alhamdulillah, mashallah, people, they love khair. People have khair in them and they want to help, yeah? These terrorist organizations, these deviants, they misuse it. They go and ask people for money. Oh, we want to build a masjid in, I don't know, so-and-so country, in a rural area. Please give us They collect the money. Maybe they will build a masjid, maybe. A small masjid, half the money, they're in their pockets, and they start giving it to harm Muslims. So be very careful. Don't give your money in any charitable, no. Give it to the one that's registered. Registered, have a permit, have this in the UAE, from Awqaf. That's okay. Other than that, they have a link, GoFundMe, ma'araf shu hada, ignore all that. Wallahi, ignore all that. And so, sometimes, you know, these influencers on YouTube, they always have these links, GoFundMe. Don't pay them a dirham. Yeah? Be careful, wallahi, be careful. Because your money can be tracked, huh? You don't want to lose a lot of your things in life. Your money can be tracked. They will say, this guy is transferring money to so-and-so. There's a organization, terrorist organization. They will catch you. You're part of them. And there's zero tolerance about this. They're not going to say, no, he's miskeen. La habibi. You have money transferring money to these people, you're maybe with them. Deportation or maybe jail or whatever. So be very careful with these things, my dear brothers. We don't want to help, first of all, the evil people, and we don't want to lose things in our lives. طيب. Then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال, how much time do we have? Okay. Then the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam قال ومن ستر مسلما ومن ستر مسلما. This sitr means shielding or covering. This is two types, either physical or intrinsic or معنوي. حسي و معنوي. Yeah? A physical one is that you cover him with his needs. Anything that is pragmatic, that is materialistic. يعني money, يعني don't let him go ask for people. ستر مسلما, from his needs. Yeah? Shield him from asking others. This is the physical part. طيب ومن ستر مسلما أيضا, you shield him. The intrinsic, the ma'nawi part is that you see a deficiency in him and you cover it. عيب فيه, عيب. And you cover it. That is also part of the hadith, and this is wajib on you. And this is something that is very widely spread among husband and wife, especially if they get a divorce. She'll put all his secrets and personal things in the newspaper. And also him. They don't fear Allah. Meaning, a man married to a woman, and she has a certain deficiency, maybe something in her leg, something in her body, whatever. These are private, personal things. He goes and he tells it. يفضح, exposes it to others, to his family member, to his friends, and she also might do that. He has something in him, she will go and expose it to her friends, her family members, and talk about it. هذا ما يجوز. You're exposing your brother, or even the close one, your husband, your wife. What do you think will happen to you? Here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he say? He said, Allah will shield you. Whoever shields or hides a misdeed or a deficiency of a Muslim, Allah will shield him in this world and in the hereafter. طيب, if you don't shield, opposite. Allah will expose you. Just like you expose people, Allah will expose you. And wallahi, I've seen it many times from people. They talk about the honor, ird, an-nas, they slander people. Subhanallah sends bad people to slander him and talk about him and transgress against him and expose his personal things and everything like that. So be careful. This is not something you want to deal with. Sometimes, wallahi, it becomes very, very ugly, an ugly situation. طيب, that's with regards to deficiencies that you have to cover. You cannot expose things. And I don't have to tell you to cover it. By default, it is amana. It is a secret by default. You cannot tell and expose it to other people. Also, in wrongdoing, sin. This is also, you're not allowed to expose. But in sin, it has 3 types. Sometimes you have to. The first type is that he is covering his sin. Give you an example. In school also. You saw one of your friends, he's smoking in the toilet. ساتر على نفسه صح? Smoking is haram. He's in the toilet smoking. And you open the door and you see him. يا ناس come, he's smoking. لا. غلط. You don't expose him. If he is covering himself, you have to cover it with him. And he's not harming others, harming himself. Yeah? Any kind of sin. طيب. But what do you have to do? 3 things. Number 1, you cannot be happy about it. إياك. If your brother is sinning and violating the rules of Allah, the first thing is that you have to be sad that Allah is being disobeyed. And you have to be sad that your brother is disobeying Allah. That's number 1. And تحزن ولا تفرح ولا تشمت. And don't shame your brother. Some people have sickness in the heart. They go stalk people, they track down who is sinning. Who's sinning? He's sinning. Yeah, I caught you. شو هذا? This is not Islamic. This is from the shaitan. That's number 1. So you don't have to, you cannot be happy about it. Number 2, you have to keep it a secret, as I said. And number 3, you have to advise him accordingly and appropriately. Advising him divided into 2 types. If he doesn't know that you know about his sin, don't tell him that you know. Advise him in a general way. Yani you go and say, listen, I saw you smoking and I have to give you advice, or I need to. Nah. Talk to him in general. You know, I read this article once that smoking does this, and I think there's a fatwa. Yeah, I just wanted to share that benefit with you. Bas. Yeah, don't tell him that you know. If you know, that's a different case. I advise him accordingly. طيب. That's number 1 with a person, what did we say? In wrongdoing, a person who is hiding his sin. ساتر على نفسه أستر عليه. Number 2, public wrongdoing. Yani he is publicly doing wrong, sin. He's not covering himself, then this is not up to you to cover him, because he exposed himself already. So it's not up to you to cover him. لا, don't cover him. ولكن advise him accordingly. طيب, number 3 is الضرر أو المعصية المتعدية, extended wrongdoing, a sin but it harms others. يعني one man, for example, يعني one guy, he's going around talking to girls and trying to, hitting on them and whatever, and trying to get with them and all that. And he's doing it secretly. Nobody's seeing him. And he's going and trying to get with girls. هذا سر. He's ساتر على نفسه. Yeah? But here, even if he's doing it secretly, you have to do, first of all, you have to warn him. Fulan, I saw you do this, and I'm warning you, you have to stop, because you're hurting others. And if you don't stop, either I report you, or I'll expose you to her father, or her mother, or her brother, and they will beat you up. I don't care what the consequences are. So you be careful, stop it. That's number 1. طيب, number 2, if that doesn't stop him, then you have to report him. You have to report him to the authorities, or whatever you see that it should stop the benefit. طبعا, with regards that you don't cause more fitna. You don't cause more fitna. That you have to also be wary of. Sometimes if you expose someone, maybe there's a big harm and fitna that can cause on him and on his family and etc. So you have to analyze the situation accordingly. And this includes also people who spread misguidance in Islam. This is public. And they are harming others. It's extended harm on others. So this also you have to warn people and correct such matters. طبعا now people maybe and this is something very important that you have to understand. Sometimes people don't have ilm or knowledge. Share the statements of the scholars regarding the matter. For example, one man is spreading bid'ah, misguidance in Islam, yeah, and he's spreading, and you are not in a position to talk and say and all that. Get the scholar's statements from the internet, from a YouTube, whatever, a video, a statement, a website that says this is a bid'ah and why is it a bid'ah. Teach people. Yeah, this is also from the qurba. You reveal a qurba on the Muslimin, and you help others and protect them in their religion. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. طيب. And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه. Dependence and weakness. This is attached to us humans. You are nothing without Allah. And here the Prophet said, Allah will be supporting you if you are supporting your brother. And just like your brother is in need today, you will be in need tomorrow. This is inevitable. So plan strategically. Today you help your brother, tomorrow you will need help. And whoever you are, CEO, big man, macho man, healthy, whatever you are, you will need help. One day Allah can remove anything from you. So you have to be very careful with that. Yeah? For helping your brother for the sake of Allah, so Allah can help you back and support you in this dunya and in the akhirah. The second part of the hadith, من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما, this I want it alone because there's a lot of things that I want to share with you. So we'll keep it inshallah for next class, next week inshallah. طيب, we'll conclude here inshallah. هذا ما عندي والله أعلم وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.